Yo, what's up? What's up, YouTube? It's been a little bit since my last post. Forgive me, I'm sorry. It's just really hard to be consistent here. But nonetheless, I just really want to get into today's topic of this video, and it's cutting down gym time. I've gotten so many DMs and comments about like, oh, how do I make my full body session shorter? Or how do I make my upper and lower shorter? Like, I'm spending 2 hours in the gym doing upper. Oh, I'm doing 2 to 3 hours doing full body. Well, don't worry, because this video, I'm going to cover easy things you can do just to make your time in the gym more efficient, so you're in and out, depending if that's what you want. All right, some people actually like spending 2 hours in the gym every day, but some people are busy like me, and I can't really risk that, so I have to be in there in like an hour 10, hour 30, and that's on my full body day. Yes, I do my full body days sessions in an hour 10 to an hour 30. So the number one tip I can give you before we head into the gym and I go over my full body workout, because I'm going to record it all. I don't know if I'm going to go over it, but I'm just going to put it as the background or whatever, just something for you guys to watch. But tip number one is to stop yapping, dude. All right, do that anywhere else, but if you want to be in and out of the gym, not yapping is going to significantly reduce gym times, because we've all been there. We've all been in that hour, 30-minute long conversation, or like 10-minute conversation between sets. Like, that takes up a large chunk of time. And number two, stop doom scrolling. Most people are doom scrolling. Sorry, I don't know what the fuck that spit was. And number two is stop doom scrolling. Dude, there's no reason why you should even be on your phone in the gym to begin with, except for just logging your lifts, changing music, or sending a quick text. Because we actually have data showing phone usage takes up mental space in our brain, which increases perception of effort, reducing our performance in the gym, making us reach failure sooner, or overall just reducing that intensity, or whatever you want to put it in your words. But yeah, most people are doom scrolling longer than what they would like. Oh, I'm just going to doom scroll between each set or each exercise, and that 3 minutes, that 1 minute, 2 minute turns to like 10 minutes, and you're like over there reading comment sections, etc. Like, come on, man. Like, those are two easy ways just to cut down gym time, just like that, without applying or changing anything about your training. Well, anyways, nonetheless, I'm going to go in the gym right now, and I'm going to record my lifts and then give some input on how else we can reduce gym time. The first actual gym programming tip I'd give is just change your exercise order. Like, have your priority muscles first, priority exercises first in your program. Then after that, you should rotate your exercises around to where you have each exercise close to each other. Like, let's say I'm doing a leg extension. The ham curl is right next to it, right? I'm going to program leg extension and then leg curl, all right? Because that can cut down gym time just simply from being able to walk. You don't have to walk back and forth from the gym. Oh, but what about rest time? You're resting anyways. You say that until you actually go out and try it. Because then you have to account for, oh, you have to prep for your set. You have to load the weights on the machine or whatever you want to do. All those little variables add up, so it's not just about like, oh, I don't have to worry about that just because I rest between each set or exercise. Another factor is that, what if somebody takes your exercises back and forth? And you know what you can do? That's really easy to do. Move on to the next exercise that's close by, right? Instead of just waiting around, walking back and forth. Like, just trust me, it cuts down so much time in the gym.
Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The selfish intent of wanting to preserve peace initiates wars, and hatred is born in order to protect love.
you notice, I am being very intentional with the RIR I'm using for the beginning of my session, just because I don't want to create a lot of cardiovascular strain in the beginning of my session, which could cook me for my later rest times. Another thing I want to go into is understanding how rest times are arbitrary. If you saw my tricep extension and I switched arms, there is no reason why I would have had to have waited 3 to 5 minutes. That wasn't very taxing. It wasn't very fatiguing. I did RIR, that was like 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Like, that's not creating a lot of uncomfortable sensations that I actually have to recover from any longer, right? As rest times are going to be based on the individual, depending on what they're doing, exercises, genetics. Like, let's take an endurance athlete on the squat rack, right? They could probably pump out a heavy set of 5, go right back into it a minute later, compared to somebody that's type 2 fiber dominant, whatever. They probably would take a lot longer on this heavy set of 5. It'll probably take like 5-10 minutes or even more just to rest between those sets. Like, it varies depending on the individual. But anyways, I just wanted to cover that before I go on to the next topic after I'm done with my priority lifts.
Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a concept of victors, the vanquished will also exist.
Now that I got my priority exercise out of the way, which technically my pec deck was close to my shoulder press and that neutral grip press for my upper chest was right next to each other, same machine. But back in the beginning of the video, how I said, change your exercise order after priority with the exercises that are close by to each other. Something I want to add before that, you do that programming, is put your high cardiovascular demanding exercises near the end of your workout. Like, you're not gonna see me do my squat pattern or hinge until the end, just because they're super cardiovascular demanding, which, like I said, with RIR and being intentional, could cook me for my further sets in the beginning of the session. All right, making me rest longer between each set than what I should have if I were to just put it towards the end of my workout. All right, legs isn't a big priority for me, so that's why having my squat at the end on my full body day is nice and hinged towards the end, because I'm doing men's physique, so I just have to focus all upper body wise. Now, I do have biceps near the end, but it's just because they're close by, and biceps are not that fatiguing of an exercise, once again, if you do RIR and do it properly. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because that's a great tip as well to help reduce time, to help reduce your rest times. But yeah, I'm gonna further up and continue this extra workout, and I'm gonna continue to record it, and then at the end, maybe give some more tips. I don't know if I have any more to talk about after that, but we'll see. Okay, so I'm editing this video and I made a mistake and I left something out. So I wanted to say is that you could do bilateral movements first in your exercise selection order, then switch to unilateral, right? If that's like taking too much time, just doing everything unilateral or just throwing random bilateral stuff in it, because unilateral work is going to be more cardiovascular demanding because you have to do it twice compared to once with bilateral. And if you start off your sessions fresh, you're going to get most of the benefits from the bilateral movements. And then when fatigue builds up and you switch to unilateral work, you are still getting equal, or if maybe a slightly more bit of motor unit recruitment, as if you were to start off unilaterally, right? That fatigue buildup, you're getting even less motor unit recruitment in those bilateral sets. So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out in there. But there's a lot of nuance to that topic and subject. I mean, yes, I get it. Unilateral work will have more motor unit recruitment, but you got to look at the magnitude of effort. Is what I'm doing actually worth it for what I want to put in or what I want to get out of it? All right. This is why I think having like this whole thing of maximizing everything approach can get a little faulty as like, look, I'm an athlete. There's gonna be some movements that I don't need to do for that sport, right? Or some movements that I don't like, that I'm not going to do. Or what am I doing? Men's physique, right? I don't really need to grow my glutes or really prioritize legs as much as I were to if I was doing classic or just overall wanting to look big everywhere else. Like, I have priorities to focus on. I have my upper body to work on. I got my abs to work on. Like, I don't need to worry about like, oh, am I getting every little detail about my legs right? You know what I mean? Like, magnitude of effort is one thing. Shout out Declan, who taught me that personally, and I've been applying that to my training ever since. But yeah, I'm gonna get right back into it. Next, I got Kelso shrugs, which is, once again, the machine I'm going to use is right next to the ham curl, right? I know I'm walking around here, so it's I'm kind of contracting myself, but I'm just walking and talking. I have an extra time today, so I don't really gotta worry about that. But yeah, let's go get into it.
The longer you live, the more.
Okay, now I'm onto my Kelso shrug because that was a mistake. I thought I did the hamstring curl, but I didn't.
You will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility.
Something else you see me doing is I'm selecting exercises that are super easy to do, super easy to load, super easy to set up. Something that's gonna help cut gym time is choosing better exercises that are less time efficient or less taxing to use. Like, I could have went on that Smith machine, set up a Kelso, and loaded up like 5 plates on it, but I didn't because that would have took way too much time. But yeah, I chose to do the row machine, right? I set it up, I used my gym pin, put 25 on it, took me significantly less time than what I would have spent setting it up on the Smith machine. Same thing applies to like leg press, right? I know I said about switching to bilateral, but I'm going to do unilateral leg press just because I'm loading up 10, 12 plates on each side when I could just load up 3 each side and do it single leg. But yeah, that's something else that I would put in consideration when trying to reduce gym time. Just got done with my full body day. I'm gonna put up a little clip of the little pump I got, but I'm not really gonna show too much because right now, I'm going to Texas actually next week of the recording of this video. So I'm doing a little like weird diet. It's called the protein sparing modified fast, but I modified it just a little bit just to add in some carbs for training day. And I lowered a little bit of protein just because I am having a little bit more carbs in my diet than what the regular protein sparing modified fast would be. But that diet itself is such a great topic and a great video for me to cover, which I don't know if I will, just because it's really hard to just stick to, and I don't really want to promote or post something about something that can be potentially dangerous just because you are pushing so low calories, and a lot of people don't know how to diet properly, and they don't know about their macros. They have terrible macro management. It's just like, I just don't feel comfortable doing that, but I will show a little clip of my pump right now. Yeah, when I get into my car, I'm going to explain warm-ups and warm-up sets because a lot of people actually spend way too much time doing warm-up sets or warm-up whatever you want to do, preparations before their sets, and I just think it just kills just a bunch of time, unnecessary time for literally no benefit at all. Okay, so we gotta separate definitions here. We gotta explain a couple definitions here. A warm-up is something that warms up your muscles to appropriate muscle temperature, okay? Which doing warm-up sets do not do, all right? There is no data suggesting lighter weights, shy from failure, or increasing muscle temperature, all right? Unless it becomes a cardio session at that point, unless you're doing like 20, 30 reps, 40 reps, whatever, but your 5-rep set is not warming up your muscles, all right? What you should do, okay, before I say what I'm gonna say, I am not promoting not to warm up, all right? I think we should all warm up because it's great to reduce injury risk, because past increasing muscle temperature, there's really no benefit for injury risk reductions with doing warm-up preparations or whatever you want to call it, all right? So muscle temperature is really the only thing you want to worry about. Oh, what about my joints? I'll cover that in 1 second, okay? So you want to do something like the elliptical, right? For 5-10 minutes, do something that's cardio. Like I said earlier, how cardio is able to increase muscle temperature. Or, dude, we have papers of just like sitting and putting your arm in like a hot bath, and that increased muscle temperature and had no further reductions in injury risk compared to doing like a little cardio thing. It's insane. So the only thing you should really worry about is muscle temperature. Okay, now about joints, right? If you're an older individual or someone that does have joint issues, I do suggest doing 1 to 2 reps at 50% of your working weight before you work into it, just to make sure everything's okay. It's not to warm up your joints or anything, it's just to make sure everything is okay. And anything joint-wise or anything else about you would get out of a warm-up, you are going to do and get out of the sub-effort reps, the beginning reps of your set, right? Like if you're doing a set of 8, your first rep isn't really doing anything. Your first 2 aren't really going to do anything, right? But if you're doing reps of like 2 or 1 or maxing out, then obviously, yeah, that can help a lot just for just confidence boost as well, which leads into preparation, all right? We got to separate the terms warm-up sets and preparation sets. I think doing warm-up sets is completely pointless and stupid and a waste of time. But if you want to do a set before that just to make sure your confidence is well, then by all means practice that, make sure form is good, by all means, right? And I do think that we should do those practice sets on compounds or more multi-muscle movements like a barbell squat and a bench press, right? You want to make sure everything is running good, all right? But compared to something like a tricep extension, why would I need to practice that? Why do I need to feel confident going into a tricep extension of 6 reps, right? I really don't, unless you're just somebody that does, then okay, by all means do it. And then we get into PAP. A lot of people think post-activation potentiation increases motor unit recruitment, but it does not, all right? What it can do is increase neural efficiency, which is just coordination, which those sub-effort reps are going to do in your set, all right? So it really has no benefit for hypertrophy, but for strength, yes, absolutely. Because everything about post-activation potentiation is really only occurring inside the muscle, like calcium ion sensitivity, right? Which could increase mechanical tension, but for like fractions of seconds for like the first rep, right? That's kind of why you see a increase in performance or reps, right? Is because you're just helping out your first rep or 2, all right? Which aren't really going to be stimulating. If you follow the stimulating reps model, shout out Chris Beardsley, which is a go, and there's a lot of people trying to debunk that, but they don't actually, they're just trying to debunk the nuances, which, okay, I don't care about, but yeah. But I do think we got to have that separation of warm-up sets and preparation. Warm-up sets are to warm up your muscles, all right? Increase muscle temperature, which lighter weights, shy from failure, with the warm-up sets that most people do aren't doing, again, unless you're doing like 30 reps, right? And then preparation, right? If you want to do PAP, right, you like that, maybe it can increase motivation, go for it. Like, I'm not saying not to do a rep or 2 at 85 to 90% of your working weight, right? But you just don't need to, all right? If your goal is hypertrophy, you're not really losing anything if you're not doing it, all right? That's what I want you to get at. Like, you're not losing any benefits as if you were to do it, but there are no negatives for doing it, if that makes any sense. And then we got to go into preparation sets, right? PAP, preparation, whatever. I am kind of like going in circles. But if you want to do a practice set, you know, no one's stopping you, but just don't do it excessively, all right? That's the entire point. I didn't do a single warm-up set or preparation set going into my lifts today, not even for PAP, because I don't care about it. I just don't care, all right? That's just me, though, but you can do it. But I do think doing sets specifically for warming up your muscles are stupid and excessive practice sets, unless It's a compound like squat and bench press, as we got to make sure everything is running smoothly. Like, you're not going to jump into your 1 rep max, 5 rep max squat, barbell back squat, something that's potentially more dangerous than a bicep curl. All right. So that's why you got to make sure your neural efficiency, your coordination is good, because unfortunately, those first rep or two on those higher risk exercises could cost you your lift, right? Because of injury, whatever. What if you have a misgroove? But like, the chances of you having a misgroove, and even if you do have a misgroove on a bicep curl, the chances are super low of having an injury. And I don't think, regardless if you did a warm-up preparation set on that bicep curl, it wouldn't even matter compared to the compound squat or bench press. But yeah, a little bit of circle yapping there about warm-ups and preparations, but we just got to separate those two terms. But yeah, that is the rest of this video on how to cut gym time, cut your time down in the gym. And I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to follow, share, like the video, whatever you're doing. I'll catch you guys on the next one.